Hey guys, it's Finn. I just wanted to share this joy of mine with you that I finally unlocked the Dark Matter camo for my weapons in Black Ops 3, but just so to not to simply leave it at that, I decided to talk about this weapon camo journey of mine and go through all the weapon classes and tell you guys about my strategy in achieving the Dark Matter camo and also which weapons were difficult to complete, which were easy, which took me the longest time and so on. Without further ado, let's go. So at first, I basically went through all the assault rifles and got the diamond camo for them before I really started working on any other weapon types, but then I realized that perhaps I shouldn't go through these weapons one weapon type at the time and rather switch up between different kinds of guns. This is for two different reasons. First, I figured that it might get frustrating if I was stuck with a single type of weapon, sniper rifles for example, after achieving diamond camo for every other type of weapons, so I wanted to avoid this scenario where I would be forced to use, in this case, sniper rifles and only sniper rifles possibly for weeks because everything else is already unlocked. So to keep things fresh and fun, I did a lot of switching between different guns and weapon types, often before even completing all the challenges to my previous weapon. And the second reason why I did this was because most guns only unlock after reaching a certain level. I always try to complete all the camo challenges for higher level weapons before focusing on the ones that are available from the start. This is because I like to climb up the prestige levels, and each time I do so, the higher weapons are locked until I level up again. If I would have gone through all the starting weapons at first, there wouldn't have been anything I could have done to progress in achieving the Dark Matter camo after prestiging, because I would have to level up to unlock the guns that are still undone. So this is why every time I unlocked a new higher level weapon, I would start using that instead of the one I used before, even if it was still unfinished, so I would always have something to work on. Alright, so let's get to the actual weapons. When you're talking about the submachine guns, I found them to be one of the hardest weapons to get headshots for. Especially Weevil, Vesper and VMP. God, those things just can't stay still. Thank God for the grip attachment, but even that doesn't help enough. Aside from that, the submachine guns were a breeze. You don't even need to get long shots, just some revenge medals, double kills, bloodthirsties, you know the deal. And since submachine guns are perhaps the best kind of weapons in the game, you're bound to get those relatively easily. Let's move on to assault rifles. So with ARs, the headshots were perhaps the easiest out of all the weapon types. A bit harder with the semi-automatic Shiva, but even that was doable. These guns are very stable. The only challenge that was always a bit annoying was, of course, the long shots medal challenge. I mean, it was a piece of cake for as long as I could use the Varex 3 optic glitch, but after they patched that, I had to rely on my favorite long shot spots in different maps and kinda camp my ass out on them, insert shameless self-block here. But yeah, other than that, easy peasy Khaleesi. Shotguns on the other hand, they were kind of a 50-50 split. See, the KRM and Argus were really easy to complete. You had to get one-shot kills instead of headshots, and they are a lot more common with these weapons. But with Haymaker and 205 Brecci, you had to get headshots instead of one-shot kills. And because of the wide pellet spread, it is difficult with a shotgun. Haymaker was a bit more forgiving on that front since it's a full automatic, but Brecci was just a bitch. Semi-automatic weapon with a shorter range and a wide pellet spread, and it requires headshots. Most of the time I ended up killing the guy with a torso shot instead, and it got really annoying. That's why I would scream in delight inside my head whenever I saw an idle enemy player, because I could just shove the pipe of the gun in his ear and pull the trigger, and then usually I got a headshot. Needless to say, it took me a long time to complete this. Okay, so LMGs are next. What can I say? They were all a cake, no problems at all. Accurate and stable weapons, effective, easy headshots, easy bloodthirsties, easy everything. One of the best parts in pursuing the Dark Matter camo, no complaints. So yeah, I might as well just move on. Sniper rifles. You know I'm not a sniper, that's why I started going through them early so I wouldn't have to go through them all at the same time when I wouldn't have anything else left. But contrary to what you might expect, they really weren't that bad. I mean, you didn't have to get headshots, but one-shot kills instead. And with Locus, SVG and PO6, one-shot kills were easy enough to get. With Draken it was a bit more difficult in the core playlist obviously, since it is only one-shot kill if you hit the guy in the head. So 100 one-shot kills basically meant 100 headshots with Draken, at least if you play in the core playlist. Now you'd think that it's extremely difficult, but it's actually surprisingly doable. I mean, these things are accurate for as long as you know how to aim well. Also, the bloodthirsties were sometimes a small trouble since, again, I'm not that good at sniping. The enemies would often spawn behind me and kill me before I had the time to get the 5th kill, but I was able to complete them eventually, so yeah. Not too many problems with sniper rifles. After all, you gotta earn your dark matter camo. So that's it with the primaries, let's talk about the secondaries next. The pistols, yeah, I didn't like the pistols. Some say that they are the most difficult ones to get the diamond camo for, and they very well might be right. They are not effective, MR6 most certainly is not. The headshots were kind of a pain with each pistols, especially with LCAR, which just can't remain stable. With MR6 and RK5, the problem was them not being that effective, and I guess the same applies to LCAR, so headshots were a pain. Bloodthirsties as well. In hardcore game modes they're a bit easier to get, but even there pretty much any other weapon is better than a pistol, because these things don't have the range either. One thing I can say that is good about them is that they really don't require that long a distance for long shot medals. But then again, like I said, they are not that effective and even less so from a distance, so it doesn't make up for all the bad things here. So overall, these guys were annoying. I wouldn't recommend leaving them last, but instead, make sure to do them every now and then. Then we have the launchers, and God bless the launchers, these boys were fun! Destroy 100 score streaks? Easy, just go to Nuketown and destroy some UAVs and counter UAVs. I explained this strategy in one of my earlier videos, another smooth self-block right here. Some say that the part of getting direct hit infantry kills with XM53 is hard, but I say that's nonsense. Just fire at the enemies, some of them are bound to bite the rocket sooner or later. It might take some time, but it's really not that hard. I'd say that destroying 5 talons or Cerberuses are the most difficult part with launchers, simply because people don't use talons that often and Cerberuses can take 4 rockets before they are destroyed, assuming that they haven't been damaged beforehand. It's a bit easier with Black Cell since that launcher actually has the ammo capacity to take out a Cerberus in a single encounter, but with XM53 only carrying 2 rockets, you need to refill your ammo or die and respawn again before you can finish the thing off. Destroying Guardians, Hardened Sentries and Power Cores took some time as well, because although people used Guardians and Hardened Sentries more often than Talons in my opinion, they still use them less often than Cerberuses, and people really never use Power Cores, and you also have to take out 10 of those instead of 5. But on the bright side, they only take 2 rockets to be destroyed. I'm not sure about Power Core though, so yeah. It takes some time to complete, but you always have a chance to destroy them in a single encounter. So not too many problems with launchers, overall they were just fine. Lastly, we have the combat knife. Getting 200 kills with it is easy, of course, doesn't require any fancy tricks. Same as Revenge, Backstabber and Survivor medals, they are bound to happen. Then we need to kill 5 enemies with their own weapon after killing them with a combat knife. Kind of a weird challenge, something that you need to focus on, but it's easy as well. People often use stuff like VMP or Kuda, and getting kills with those is very easy. Finally, we have the Bloodthirsty challenge. This might take some time and training if you're not that good with combat knife. As you could see, it was the very last challenge I completed before unlocking dark matter camo. You had to be sneaky and cunning, knowing the map is always helpful. I'd say this is the hardest challenge for combat knife. Other than that, it was pretty easy. But there you go, my dark matter journey is now complete, and I'll see you in the next video. I've been working on plenty of them. I know it's been weeks since I last made a video, but I've been away from home and doing stuff, so the next one definitely shouldn't take as long. I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later.